Alright kids, we're going over some problems. The problems that we're going over is question 3, question 5, question 12, 31, and 32. Let's start with question number 3. Here's question 3. It says 3x squared equals 14x minus 15. Right here we use the quadratic formula. So when we do the quadratic formula, we need to make sure the biggest degree it stays positive. So I'm going to move all this. We're going to subtract 14x and add 15 to both sides. Subtract 14x, add 15 to both sides. We get 0 over here, okay, because this cancels. Over here we end up with 3x squared minus 14x plus 15. And then from here, a equals 3, b equals negative 14, and c equals 15. We're going to use the quadratic formula. In the quadratic formula, we need to pay attention that we follow the signs, we don't mess up on anything. So here we have negative 14 plus or minus the square root of we have negative 14 squared minus 4 times 15 times 3, and on the bottom 2 times 3. When we do that part, we clean it up. We got 14 plus or minus. That means there's two equations. I'm going to have 6 over here. The discriminant of all this, so let's say that's 30, that's 60, that's 90. I think this is negative 90, right? Because that's 2 will be 30, 4 will be 60. 60 times 3, oh yeah, negative 180, sorry. And then I forgot what 14 square is, so we're going to multiply 14. That's 6, 1, that's 4, 5, 0, then we got 4, 1, I got 196. So in here we got 196, take away 180, it's 16. Then we do the square root of that, which is 4. So this whole thing became 14 plus 4 over 6, which is that's 18 divided by 6, which is 3. And then the other one is, what is it, 14 take away 4 divided by 6, which gives you 10 over 6, or reduced to 5 over 3. That's that one. So you got two answers using the quadratic formula. Okay? Alright, so that was question 3. Question 5. I got a lot of kids asking question 5. How do you solve this one? It says solve the equation by completing the square. Well, to complete the square on question 5, it says b squared plus 14b plus 72 equals negative 6. We want to make sure, we're going to do the quadratic formula, but we want to make sure we move everything over. This is positive, so I'm moving this plus 6 over. So here we have b squared plus or minus 14b plus 78 equals 0. A equals 1, b equals 14, and c equals 78. Okay, so right here we do the quadratic formula. We have to figure out, make sure our numbers are correct. So we're going to get 14, negative 14, plus or minus the square root of 14 squared minus 4 times 1 times 78 all over 2 times 1. Here we got negative 14 plus or minus that 2. And then in here we have 196. Well, first of all, let's find out what this part is. That's 4 times 78 equals 312. And then it'll be 196 take away 312. And then when we combine those, we get negative 14 plus or minus. Here we get the negative 116. Okay. Okay, and so remember here we have to simplify. We have to see what gives you 16 or 116. Divide this by 2. That'll be, let's see, 116 divided by 2 equals 58. But I'm not done there. Divide that by 2, we get 28. So 29. So here the square root is going to change into negative 14 plus or minus. There's a negative so that I know the imaginary number is there. Also, since I'm able to take out two 2's, I take out a 2, and then inside all I have left is 29. On the bottom, we still have a 2. So a lot of people don't see this, but when you're dividing by 2, you're dividing each term by 2. So here, another way that I looked at it is, alright, let's divide each section by 2. And if you notice, I gave the denominator to each one of these. So here, when I simplify this, I got negative 7. Still plus or minus, because both of my answers is the same thing. And these two cancel out. So I get I square root of 29. So here are my two solutions. And I know they're imaginary because of that negative square root that was there in the beginning. So that was the situation you want to pay attention. Also, factor out this 116, and I got 258, and then 2, factor that, we got 2 and 29. We take out those two 2's, and then we end up with this as our answer. That was question number 5. Okay. Alright, question number